Are you ready to show up for you? Are you ready? And I'm asking that because you know how it is, you gotta make sure, this get done for such and such and that get done and this gotta look like that and they call and you gotta answer. But are you gonna show up for you? I talked about this in a previous video, about showing up for yourself, but I want to talk about it again because a lot of the times we neglect ourselves for other people and things and, you know, doing everything outside of working on self. You know what I'm saying? Like getting your mental health together, which is something that has become very popular to talk about and to work on versus previous years because studies show how, you know, people struggle in silence. And that ain't nothing new. But it just was looked over like, nah, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. Yeah, in some cases, maybe so. But a lot of cases, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I know as men, we just take our hits on the chin and just keep it moving, which is a very unhealthy thing. And then I know some women, whether they being a single mother, going through things, grew up a certain way just like men, uh, just put their feelings behind them and keep on going. Don't get me wrong, you got to keep on going. But you got to acknowledge the things that you're going through, that you're struggling with. Because if you don't, it will consume you. It will tear you alive. It will do you bad, and that's very unhealthy, for your mental and your physical self. And if you're not okay, like I say all the time, if you are not okay, nothing around you gonna be okay. You can try to act like you good and, you know, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, that sound good, but you need to get the help that you need, and that may look different for everybody, you know. Counseling might be a good thing. I was against counseling for a while, but I started to understand that it's not just about because I say stuff like, man, I ain't trying to hear you. They're just getting paid, for you to talk about this, talk about that. They are getting paid for you to talk, but sometimes a lot of us don't feel heard, and sometimes the church is not the place we feel most comfortable at. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, family and friends is not what we feel the most comfortable at. That's okay, but to verbalize your feelings and to get them out, counseling can be a great source. I said that as number one because I know that's a private place that your business can't be told, and you can trust that because that's the law. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some places you go, people may say, "Oh, I got your back. I ain't gonna tell nobody your business," and they do it anyway. And that's a very uncomfortable situation to be in when you're going through a lot mentally and you don't know where to go. Keep God first though. You can go to counseling, but God got to come first. I can't leave that out. Ask God to send you to the right counselor for you that work for you. Because God, you got to keep God first. I don't care what you do, where you go. You got to keep God first. I want to make that perfectly clear. Keep God first. And then secondly, like you could go to the church. I don't know whether you get into a brother ministry, a sister ministry, or it be son, whatever it is. You may confine in going and feeling good about going to the church to get things off your spirit. Whether you get prayed for and you be engaged with others and fellowship and stuff like that. That's a good source too. If that's where you feel comfortable at. Ain't nothing wrong with that. God want us to do that, whether it be in the church building or it be church within a home, ministry, whatever they're gonna look, whatever church look like for you, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And it will help you grow. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, you know, which is my favorite, I should have put it as number one, which it is number one. So just in your head, put this number one. Talk to God. You know what I'm saying? Talk to God about everything, your feelings, what you're going through, what it make you feel like, where you at, and everything else. And then He will guide you through what you need, where to go for what you need. He will guide you. You know what I'm saying? He will guide you. He will guide you. I gotta say that again because we be looking for some direction when we going through certain things. Man, I'm going through this. I need this type of help. I'm going through that. Hey, I get it. But if you don't talk to the source first, then your resources gonna be limited. They may be resources, but they may not be the resources you need. And that's what this all about. I'm on here talking about, if you need help, seek help. But before you go out and seek help, seek some help through the source so he can provide the resources for you to get the right help that's gonna help you over time. You know what I'm saying? Because all this take time. If you've been through, had a rough childhood, you've been through a lot of different trauma, that just don't fall off because you wake up and say, okay, I'm tired of feeling like this, I'm done. No, it really take time. I know because I've been through things in my life. And, I still struggle in some areas but I'm striving to be better. And I'm not gonna quit just because I'm not where I wanna be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I'm still growing, just like us all. If you living and you believe in God, you still growing. Okay? So no matter how old you are. And so, you know, if you need help, which I believe we all do to some capacity, you know what I'm saying? We all need that good old help. I don't care who you are, what age you are, what you're going. We all need help. It's impossible to be here and just be perfect and have it all. It's impossible. And you ain't gotta have the same struggles I got. It got people that been rich all their life. That's not a struggle for them to be poor, to struggle. You know what I'm saying? But some of us grew up in poor circumstances, situations. I met somebody the other day. They ain't never stayed in the house. I believe he's 26. And don't get me wrong, that's he had shelter though. But the thing about it is he never had a house, and he like, man, that's one of the first things I want to do. Once I get myself together, man, I want to get a house, man. Me, my mom, my sisters, we stayed in apartments all our life, and they wasn't the best, roaches, rats, and it just was a bad neighborhood. I say, bro, I get it. I get it. I come from the struggle, man, but you just keep on moving forward and keep God first. Before anything, you keep God first. Because if you never got it, is you still gonna follow God? That's what I had to tell him, because all that's materialistic. When I say, when it's time for us to go, that last breath, we gotta get in that pine box. What you taking with you? Not a thing. Ain't none of this coming with you. Ain't none of this coming with you. The goal is to go to heaven, man. And in heaven, you don't need what's down here because it's abundance and joy and it's God. You know what I'm saying? You don't need none of that when you go to heaven. You don't. That's just the feelings of what you see right now, the worldly view of things that you could allow conquer you if you don't conquer it. Meaning, if you don't get yourself in line, disciplined, and content where you are, so when God opens up the door for you, you're able to receive what's behind the door. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. You know. And then I met somebody else. I always got stories. I met somebody else, and cool person. And they told me how much they gave up for this other person. See, that's what I'm talking about. When I talk about mental health and I talk about showing up for yourself, you know, they they was married, you know, getting a divorce, it's rough for them right now. And, they did a lot of giving and didn't look out for themselves. And I ain't saying it to like, when you married, you should be selfish. Nah, I'm married. But what I'm saying is that how can the marriage work if both of y'all unhealthy, both of y'all seeking just to please one another, but you not truly happy? Your happiness, you not happy. I ain't talking about they making you happy. You not truly happy. And he was discouraged because he like, I gave up so much, man. And I told him, I say, bro, hey, I hear you. I know you're going through a rough time, but it's time to focus on you. Focus on yourself. Work on the thing that you need to work on. Your emotions, your mental health, your spirit. Get closer to God right now. God got something for you, but you got to get closer to him. And everything around you going to prosper. Everything around you going to grow. But you got to work on yourself. You have been distant from God. It's time to come back home. Everything gonna work out for you, but you got to trust that and you got to believe in it. And don't let nothing draw you away from God. Whatever you go through, run to him. You know what I'm saying? And I told him the next time you get married, whenever that time come, if that's what's in God's will, it's gonna be better because you are your best self. You are the best version of yourself, and you are able to receive love. Not because, not because you not because you want somebody to make you happy. You are happy, and that's a bonus to have somebody to make you happy along your journey. And so, He like, yeah, man, you right, man. Yeah, but you got to put that work in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying nothing I ain't done. You got to put the work in, and everything gonna work out. And so I just hope that, whatever you're going through, that through God that you can find some way to let it all out and get through it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know things get rough, things get hard. So, I just pray you receive this because it's for you. And God got everything you need. Just trust in him. You know what I'm saying? So I pray you receive this in Jesus' name. Amen.